Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central. Here on another evening when we get to read another story to you about the days gone by, but not too far in the past, that many of us can't remember those days. Many of us still remember the day when the Black Panthers took to the streets and watched our back. Took to the streets. That's what they did. Them brothers took to the streets. And they didn't just take to the streets with their cell phones. They took to the streets with their 30-06, with their carbines. They took to the streets with their Glocks. They took to the streets armed and dangerous. But they did it for a reason. They didn't do it to shoot down their brother in the street and leave their children crying for their mother. They did it as a way of trying to protect us and preserve our lives. Big difference between now and then. So we're going to continue on with our story tonight. Seems as though I've got a little bit of distortion here in my view screen. I don't know how to get rid of it though. It's like I've got some kind of light being reflected from the back or something. Maybe it's just me. Meanwhile, let me remind you, first and foremost, if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and give us a like. If you're watching on the tube, go ahead and do your due diligence and give us the old thumbs up. And don't forget to spread the word far and wide, north and south, east and west, up and down, all through the land, that we're here at Black Facts Educational Research Incorporated headquarters making a stand for Black history. So today, our proverb, or tonight rather, our proverb is, a strawberry blossom will not sweeten dry bread. A strawberry blossom will not sweeten dry bread. Okay, if you say so. And that's a proverb from Buganda. Buganda, in and around somewhere in East Africa. Parts of Buganda, the Buganda people live in Uganda, and some of them may live in Kenya, and some may live in Tanzania, for all I know. But they live in and around that area, the people of Buganda. Today, we're going to go from Buganda all the way back to the USA, to Oakland, California, IA, and we're going to be reading more about the Black Panthers. I told you all, from if you were watching last night, that I was going to post up the 10-point platform on our website, which I've done, and I also posted it up on our Facebook page, on our personal page, and in the Center of Pan-African Culture. So if you have not seen that yet, you can go there and see the entire 10-point platform. I put a link up on the first Facebook page to the website if you wanted to see all the details like what we saw in the book, but we only read the we read what the Panthers want. We did not read everything that they believe, except for the very last point 10. That one we read in its entirety last night. So go there, check it out without a doubt. It was a brilliant, not only a brilliant strategy, but it was a brilliant piece of work, because they used the United States Declaration of Independence. That was the first it was the first two paragraphs in the Declaration of Independence are equivalent to the are what they used to start off their point number 10 on that 10-point platform. So I thought that was just a real stroke of genius by none other than Huey Newton. I'm sure it came out the mind of Huey, because he'd been over there at that law school. They taught him something over at the law school. All right, Now, meanwhile, we're going to go ahead on to the next page, and we're going to read about a young brother, Lil Bobby Hutton, or as they call him, Lil Bobby Hutton. Lil Bobby Hutton. You might keep in mind that all of these brothers, except for one, with one exception, were born in the South. Okay, all of them were born outside of the Oakland area. All of them were born in the South, with the exception of one. Okay, and we'll tell you about him in a little bit. I hope I can get that. I don't know why that stuff, sometimes this thing gets really annoying. It gets that thing on there and I can't get it off. And I don't understand why that is. I'm not clear on that. Let me try this one more time here. Okay. Now I'm going to put that back there. Oh, shucks. Okay, is it on slideshow? Okay, here. I'm going to have to do this here again. Do it one more time. Make sure it's on slideshow. Okay. Do it like that. And then I'm going to go black. All right, now, let's see if that'll work. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I hate that. Technical difficulties, right? I always got them. Lil Bobby Hutton, born in 1950, Robert James Hutton was the first member recruited to the Black Panther Party, just 16 years old at the time, youngest of the fledgling revolutionaries. Hutton's family had moved from Arkansas to California in 1953 after being harassed and threatened by the KKK. A poor student, Hutton dropped out of high school. Not knowing how to read, he got a job at the North Oakland Neighborhood Anti-Poverty Center, where he befriended Bobby Seale, who taught Hutton how to read. Bobby and Bobby, you get the idea, right? Like a little kid brother. Seale talked to Hutton's parents to get permission for him to join the Black Panthers. After joining the party, Seale and Newton appointed Lil Bobby as national treasurer, even though the Panthers really didn't have any money. And I'll take it that even though Lil Bobby had a hard time reading and writing, that he could at least do some math, a little ciphering, a little figuring, calculating, as some people like to call it. Now, the next step the Panthers took was to get some arms. Because if you're going to defend your neighborhood, you're going to defend your turf, you're going to need some arms. The first guns carried by the newly formed Black Panther Party for self-defense. I always want to put that in there because that's part of their name. The Black Panther Party for self-defense came from Bobby Seale's personal collection. 2 guns, however, were not going to be enough. So they came in contact with a person by the name of Richard Aoki, a local radical in the Oakland scene. He donated guns to the Panthers. Aoki was an Army veteran who spent part of his childhood in a Japanese internment camp. So obviously he was Japanese. Aoki was closely associated with the Panthers in the group's early days. However, in 2007, documents were uncovered that implicated him as an informant for the FBI. Yeah, you heard that right. In other words, not only was he a snitch, he was what we used to call a stoolie. Okay, he just sat there on the stool, just spouting off everything he knew. Aoki denied the charges. 2 years later, in 2009, he committed suicide. Several years later, more documents were discovered that detailed his work as an alleged FBI informant. Right, and he's the one passing out weapons. Elbert Howard was born in Tennessee. Huey P. Newton, born in Louisiana. Sherwin Fort, born in Alabama. Bobby Seale, born in Texas. Bobby Hutton, born in Arkansas. And Reginald Fort, born in Alabama. Okay, I take that back what I said earlier. Actually, all of them were born in the South, but only one of them came to LA as an adult. The rest of them were all brought there by their parents who were looking for a better way of life. Less than a month after forming the Black Panther Party for self-defense, Seal and Newton had recruited their first 4 members. All 6 of the original members were born in the South. 5 of the original 6 had relocated to California as part of the Great Migration when they were children. Elbert Big Man Howard was the only original member to come to California from the South as an adult. The original members were from a younger generation that was supposed to have it better than their parents and grandparents. Unfortunately, their predecessors' belief that a better life awaited in northern cities had proved false. Unemployment, poverty, racism, and greed, police brutality plagued the black community in the North just like it did in the South. Unlike their parents who had fled the South, these young men had nowhere else to go. They were already in Oaktown. You take 5 steps out of Oaktown and you're in the Pacific Ocean, pretty much. Their only choice then was to defend themselves against the systems of oppression. So this is how we got the name, they got the name, the Black Panther Party. But how are they going to get more arms? They needed more than what they had for all the people that they now had on board. Huey, we need more guns, man, but I don't know where to get the cash, says Bobby. I know how we can make some cash to buy guns, says Huey. Bobby asks how. And Huey says, the Little Red Book by Chairman Mao Zedong. That's how. So, Bobby Seal was talking about a Little Red Book. I don't have my copy here right now, but there's a Little Red Book, quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, the leader of the Communist Party in China, that had freed the Chinese people from the grip, the stifling grip of the British, because the British had them by the growing. Let me put it to you that way. We could sell these things on campus over at Berkeley. Them radicals will go crazy over this thing. Right on, says Bobby. I've just got one question. Where are we going to get copies of the Red Book to sell? And Huey says, I know a place over in the Bay, over in Frisco. Quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong. And there you see a picture of the book up in the top left corner. And then you move over and you see Bobby Seal selling copies of the book. And then you come on down and you see some students out there on the campus talking to him about it, and an exchange of some dollars in exchange for the books. That's called barter. It's the barter system. Books for weapons. Because a book ain't nothing but a weapon without bullets. That's right. Because the most powerful weapon that we have at our disposal is right here. Your old noggin, the head. That's right. The most powerful weapon you have is right there, and you've had it with you since you were born. Knowledge. Knowledge is power. So this is that takes us all the way through chapter 3. And I could go ahead and start on chapter 4, but I think we're going to break off right there because that's a nice place to break off at, and then we can come back tomorrow and read a little more tomorrow night. So we got a few more nights left. We got about 6 more nights of reading, so we definitely are not going to finish the book, but we'll get maybe we'll get about halfway through the book. So that'll be good. That'll be real good, because it'll give y'all a good idea of what's in this book. I keep saying this, and I'll say it again. Not only is it a powerful book in terms of its ideas, but the way that it's put together, top notch, top quality job by these young brothers. I take it they're young brothers. I don't know David Walker, but Marcus Kwame Anderson, I take it he's definitely a brother because that name is from Ghana. I got my name is from Ghana too. One of my names at least anyway. So until tomorrow night, we're gonna go ahead and say peace out, but not before we tell all you little ones what we always say. Time to take your little head and put it on your little pillow, on your little bed. Close those your eyes and wait for that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, that's when you know that it's time to rise and shine, oh children of mine. And in the meantime, don't commit no crime because you don't want to do the time. But do live up to the Most High. Live up to the Most High. Be positive in everything you do. And when you rise and shine, remember you're greeting a new day that's just as divine and could be even finer than the day before. If you want to make it so. It's up to you. You got to make out of it what it will be. In the meanwhile, for all you adults, you know the deal. For real. Y'all know what's going on. You know you need to go ahead and give us a like if you're looking on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're viewing on YouTube. And then go ahead and become a sustaining member of our Black Facts family. We really appreciate it. We just got a pretty decent sized check in the mail today. You know, it takes 75 days to get a check after you make your donation. So what we need you to do is to make recurring donations so that this kind of activity is not unusual, but it's happening on a daily basis instead of, you know, a lump sum every now and then. It'd be a much better if we just had it flowing regular. And that's what we're trying to establish here. We're trying to establish a nice little flow. So if you could help us with that, we'll be good to go. You got donation links on your cell phone. If you're on Facebook, go to your notifications on Facebook. If you're on the computer, then you look at the below each of our live streams, you'll see a donation link there. On the computer or the cell phone, when you see our profile picture, you can click on the profile picture. That'll take you to a donation link. And if you're on YouTube, I put a link there at the bottom of each of our descriptions for our live streams. You'll find a link there that will take you straight away to our website. And at the top of the page on the website, you'll find a donation link there. So I've given you like 4 different ways to make a donation. So please do so, because there's nothing worse than wasting a good mind. We need to put our minds to use, not only on the kind of things that they're talking about here in the, well, you know, a lot of what came out of the Black Panthers, like I said before, is more than about guns and ammo. There's a lot that came out of the Black Panthers. And hopefully, as we're reading through here, we'll have enough time to expose you to some of the variety of programs that they created. Many of them are still continuing, like the Sidney Miller Health Clinic up in Seattle, Washington. Okay, that one up, as far as I know, that health clinic is still operating, and we're talking over 50 years after it was established. So the Panthers' work continues. We're going to continue on. Meanwhile, have a good night, because we're about to take flight. This is Doc Ock saying peace out and have a good night. We'll be black. Oh, tomorrow on the weekend, we'll be doing 2 things. We're going to do a piece on the culture that Malcolm came into, because we're celebrating Malcolm's birthday this month. And we're going to do a piece on the culture. So we're going to have a lot of music videos. We'll even include a movie. There'll be a movie up there as well on our link, Malcolm X Speaks. Look for that on YouTube, and then we'll share it to Facebook. And then on the next night, we're going to do something on the Pachucos. Okay? Those are some essays from East LA that were inspired by what we were doing on the dance floors of the East Coast. They were influenced by that, and they ended up having a whole, like a zoot suit revolution that's still going on. Okay, it's not nowhere near as strong as it was then because there were some issues, and that's part of what we're going to talk about on Sunday. So look for that on our on our weekend broadcast on Saturday and Sunday, 12 noon. Be there or be a square. You don't want to do that. Peace out.